What's up, guys? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Lord Nollan. I think the last video I made was we were in Wano still. So if you're still at the beginning of One Piece, then don't even worry about this video. This video is not for you. I'm making this video because we just got some crazy answers, and some of them aren't fully answered, but we've got some things we can now speculate on that are wildly outlandish. And the first thing I would like to bring up is that we find out who Eam is, and they're apparently a queen from before the Void Century that left Alabasta to join with the 20 kings, well, the 19 kings. They would be the 20th monarch, so the 19 rulers, to establish the world government. Now, how they established this world government, I've always speculated was they teamed up together, they used their armies to take out the established quote-unquote gods, who I would say would have been the Lunarians, the rulers of the world. And they either captured or created the Red Line from the Lunarians and their allies. Potentially all of these other races besides human beings. I would include like giants, maybe ancient giants. I'm not exactly sure on that one. But, you know, I would assume it was a alliance of all these other creatures, the Lunarians, and some races that have been eradicated. Now, Eam, yes. As far as I know, a human being. Gifted with powers, but a human being. And the other celestial dragons, while they are monsters and terrible human beings, I still believe they're human beings. But the Gorosei, I don't think they're human, because of a line that Saint J. Garcia says. He says, why is it that when humans are told not to do something, they do it anyway? And that line stuck in my head for a long time. And I was like, humans? Why would he say it like that? Why would he say, like, you lesser people, or you insects, or whatever, you know, something demeaning to, you know, state his elevated status above them. But he says, you humans. And it dawned on me, he was brought to the island through a summoning circle. And I think Tekking says it is like a similar summoning circle to the one that some cult tried to bring a demon into the world with when Brook lands in that circle. I believe that there actually are demons, because there's an afterlife that souls can apparently come back from, like Brook. There's an afterlife. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that there are demons. And if there are demons, I don't think a demon would age. And so my thought is that the celestial dragons are human beings. They were rulers. And when they went out, found out that their opponents were far too strong for them, summon a power that could put them above the Lunarians, help them raise their status to the point where they're now powerful enough to take on Lunarians. These potentially invulnerable beings that can fly and use fire and are extremely strong, can survive in any environment. Like a regular human being can't fight that. So they probably were like, we need help, we need aid. And Eam, you know, thinking outside the box, before they were known as Eam and before they were potentially immortal, was like, well, maybe we should try and find a power of our own. And they heard about these dark magics, and Eam probably was the one to initiate like some sort of deal, some sort of sacrifice, some sort of ritual that brought about these 5 demons coming to the One Piece world. And because of that, they gained immortality. And these demons, along with the 20 noble families, armies, and all that, created a powerful alliance, and they took down the Lunarians, they captured the Red Line, Andor again created the Red Line, and became the leaders of the world. And through time and careful strategy, erased the history that came in that time frame where maybe the Lunarians were winning and there was the war was dragging on, and then out of the blue these 5 demonic figures showed up, and they came with a bunch of strange fruits and gave them to nobles and their champions and maybe even their whole armies. And with these new powers, we're able to take down the Lunarians and all these other races and establish a government that they can control. And if you think about it like that, then there's no wonder that the celestial dragons don't age, because I don't know if demons age. I feel like demons are like kind of outside of time. So, I mean, in any religion you look at, demons don't die of old age. They're even when in the Bible there's demons inside of this guy, and they're sent into these pigs that are then sent into the sea. They're not really killed, they're more just banished. So I doubt that demons have a lifespan. I just feel like they exist and they interact when they are summoned, and the nature of their interaction depends on, I guess, the deal that is struck or something similar to that. And so with these 5 demons and potential immortality in hand, they set about going step by step and erasing the history so that nobody knows what really came about and how they gained this power, or the real identities of these demons, or the fact that there's even a king above kings, aka queen above queens, or ruler above rulers, whatever, essentially an emperor. And the celestial dragons, they may have known that something had happened like that, but over time, through just being apathetic to the thought of needing to know history because they are in control of the world, they just know they're the top dogs in the world, they don't need to know why. So over time they probably just forgot about it. They were like, history is whatever, I don't really care. We've got whatever we want. We've got slaves, we've got land where the people bow to us, we're superior. They didn't need to know the ins and outs as to how it came about. They just know, like, we got it. And if they really wanted to know, there's probably like some library up there that has this information that only celestial dragons can read. But they don't care. They don't care enough to look into that. So they just forgot your allies in this, and they've been running the show for forever. So who cares? It's not a big deal to them. So yeah, they forgot. Humanity was, shaped in a way that they didn't necessarily forget, they just weren't told anymore. And anyone who said anything was eradicated. Any islands who held the history sacred were probably destroyed. And so over time, the fact that there's 5 demons running the world with an immortal noble from before the Void Century, obviously didn't really come up in regular conversations anymore. Only scholars kind of sort of knew and hinted at, maybe knowing what was going on, but they got destroyed. O'Hara's gone. The books in that library, yeah, they're probably safe, but the Giants took those, and nobody's gonna take them from the Giants. So that's essentially just lost knowledge, and it's crazy to think that there's powers that are magic, but then when you look back, there's been plenty of magical powers that weren't easily explained. Like that one girl who worked for Crocodile, who could paint stuff and change your emotions from paints. Then there's also like the cult. Like, what if Brooke hadn't landed in that circle? Would they have somehow summoned a demon of their own? They didn't think they needed to because Brooke landed there, but what if Brooke hadn't landed there? What if they successfully finished their ritual and then a demon sprouted up and then there was another power in the world? Like, there's the giants that looked like demons. There's Oni, because Kaido is an Oni. Like, obviously there are otherworldly beings on the planet, so the odds that demons were summoned and they had crazy capabilities and powers that made it to where they were able to assist the world government into coming into existence doesn't sound too far-fetched anymore. We got like time travel, we got all kind of stuff. It's not outside of the realm of possibility that these are otherworldly beings that made a deal with someone, and as long as whatever that thing is that made up the contract or deal between them stays in effect, they will serve them, apparently. It's a whole new ball game now. Now we're fighting 5 elder demons that are serving an immortal who have all the knowledge that the main characters and pretty much anyone in the story don't have. And they're super powerful because they now have the ability to summon Seraphim, and they have the pacifistas. They've got some of the most powerful devil fruits in their military still. They're even eradicating islands. It's wild to think that Luffy and company will be joining forces, I'm fairly certain, with a bunch of pirates, and are gonna be taking down 5 demons, probably banishing them, not necessarily defeating them, but possibly banishing them. And the only way I could think that they would banish these 5 demons, is by beating Eam in some way. She's the source of them being on the One Piece world, and if they're beaten or maybe killed or whatever, then they may get banished back to hell. So they keep her secret. They make sure that she's taken care of entirely. They kept her immortal so that they don't get banished, because they probably like being on this planet. They don't want to be back in hell. Even if they're the most powerful demons in hell, no one wants to be there, probably. It's probably way cooler to be in the One Piece world. Then you got God Valley. We find out that God Valley was not just some place where the Celestial Dragons stayed and was attacked by the Rocks Pirates. No, the Celestial Dragons didn't even live there. The Celestial Dragons went there to hunt people. And when I say hunt people, I mean they went there to hunt people. The first thing that they say is, we're going to go on our human hunt, or something like that, something to that effect. We're going to go out on our human hunt. And I was like, yo, like, this is the first I've ever seen this many Celestial Dragons going to a single place. Like, I don't think I'd ever seen more than 1 or 2, maybe the 3 at the auction house outside of Marijois. And they had apparently been hunting humans for a long time, like a long time. And they chose God Valley because how dare human beings that, 1, are not Celestial Dragons, and 2, are not even affiliated with the world government, name their island God Valley. But it also has the side benefit that there's a lot of minerals, or there's a lot of resources on this island. So there's two wins there. They get to do their human hunt because these people aren't affiliated with them and they got audacity to be blasphemous. And there's resources that they can take. So yeah, win-win. What do we care if they get eradicated? We were going to do this hunt anyway, so fuck them. You see them arrive. The first person to show up is the king of God Valley. And he's like, what are y'all doing here? You can't just, show up when you want to and do all this and that. And straight off the bat, killed. But there's no Rocks pirates. There's no Garp. And there's no Roger. There's no Roger pirates. It's just the Celestial Dragons and this kingdom's citizens. They're there to hunt them. And the person that is there with them is Shanks' father and Saint J. Garcia. Brago Diaz. He says that they were probably betting devil fruits and such. And the only thing that possibly could come to my mind after he said they were betting devil fruits and very valuable things and stuff like that, I was like, yo, what if Shanks' dad bet Shanks in order to get all the devil fruits from the celestial dragons that he could and all of their treasures? That's why he's in the chest. He's not looking broke. He's looking fancy as hell. He's got some pretty nice gear on. Pompous hairstyle. Just swagged out. Just all like, if I were to say anybody on that island besides Saint J. Garcia was powerful as hell, it would be Shanks' dad. So these guys are betting devil fruits, and Shanks' father has put his son up with the confidence that he's gonna win. He doesn't have to worry about his son being taken from him, because they had to handicap him by 10,000 points. I don't even know the point system, but 10,000 points sounds like a large number in any point system. They handicapped him by 10,000 points to make it fair, meaning he always wins. This is the first hunt where he probably was like, man, I'm so confident I'll even put my son in the chest and I'll wipe everybody's scores out of the water. I'll blow them out the water. They're not going to be able to compare to me. And I'm going to get all these devil fruits. I'm going to get all this gold. But for some reason, Big Mom says that there's some bad stuff's going on. We got to get to God Valley. What was it that they were interested in on God Valley that made it to where the Celestial Dragons showing up to kill people and have this contest was bad for them? Like, I don't see them as like, oh, pirates are attacking this island, that's bad for us, we gotta go over there. Like, I don't think that they were trying to save the island or the people on the island. There's probably something that they needed from that island that they couldn't have gotten anywhere else. And because the Celestial Dragons were there to take the island, it would have made it a lot harder for them to get. And then Roger, I would assume, hears that the Rocks pirates are on the move and they're going to get something. These are his rivals. He's not going to let them get whatever the hell that is. So he's obviously going to go there to try and get it from them. And Garp, being a Marine, is sent, I'm sure, with the fleet the second the Rocks pirates get there. So that tells me the Celestial Dragons arrive to do whatever the hell they feel like. But they arrive at this place that is important to the Rocks pirates, probably unbeknownst to them. They probably don't know. They start this whole human hunt, and the Rocks pirates arrive. And then, they start taking down Celestial Dragons. This probably was like, because when you look at the Celestial Dragons, you don't see too many numbers up there in Marijois anymore. There's probably a good number of them, but you don't see like a lot of them. They're not like a huge population. It's mostly like slaves and their their bodyguards and the knights and stuff like that. They're the minority up there. They're the most powerful, but they're the minority up there. So probably a lot of celestial dragons were killed by Rocks pirates, which is why the Navy sent out as many people as possible to stop the Rocks pirates from killing them off. And it just so happens that in the midst of this fight, Roger shows up and he sees what's happening. He doesn't know why, but he sees the Rocks pirates probably taking down celestial dragons. He sees people all over the ground, and he assumes like, oh, these are pirates. They came here to attack. The celestial dragons just happened to be here, and a lot of people are dead because the Rocks pirates did it. And he joined with Garp thinking that he was saving the island from the Rocks pirates, and really he was helping the celestial dragon side defend itself after an atrocity, which is a that is a whole nother can of worms that I don't even like. Dang, like Roger didn't know he was helping the bad guys. Probably he probably assisted in their escape. The Rocks pirates, whoever was remaining escaped, and Roger was essentially possibly the last person on God Valley. And he sees all the wreckage. He sees all these treasures that the obviously celestial dragons don't give a shit about because they run the world. They don't need to worry about the treasure chest. They just need to get out of there. Rocks pirates are happy to escape with their lives, and they're on the run. They lost their captain. They probably broke up as in the middle of the chaos and just split up and ran off their separate ways. Roger's probably the last person on God Valley, and that's why he's the one that found Shanks. And he finds all these other treasures and things. And I'm assuming that the God Valley treasure is what he left at Laughtail. A lot of it, at least. I didn't see too many people in Roger's pirate group that had devil fruits. And I don't see Roger selling devil fruits. So possibly a lot of that treasure at the end of their pirate careers was sent to, Laughtail as a reward, as part of his plan. Is like, well, to get back at these celestial dragons for, using me pretty much to defend themselves against people who were just trying to stop them. I'm gonna start a pirate era. I'm gonna start the whole pirate era as a way to get back at them for their deception and for their atrocities, really, for them killing all those people on that island and possibly eradicating the island after he left, thinking that they were probably going to kill off the Rocks pirates and Roger. They missed, but they destroyed the island. And it's like, dang, when you think like, what if Roger put in place a plan to start an era after learning about what happened during the Void Century through all the poneglyphs and reading Joy Boy's message and stuff? What if the reason he laughed is because he was the one that aided the monsters, and his rivals were actually the heroes, and now he's got to think of a way to get back at them. So I'll leave this treasure at Laughtail, and I'll send people out to find it. And as they're searching, when you're searching for something, you're turning over all the stones. You're emptying every drawer. You're lifting every rock. You're going into every back alley. You're going to every spot on a map. You're looking for everything. So odds are there's gonna be people out there that stumble upon clues by accident just in the search for this treasure. And that's what he wants. He wants people to question what's going on around him. He wants them to find things and they're like, oh, that's weird. That doesn't add up to history I've learned. And eventually their curiosity will overtake them. And so a lot of them, they don't even necessarily care about the One Piece anymore. They're just like, like what really happened in this, in this past time? What really happened back then? Most of the people that I would say ended up in that route probably ended up in Ohara, which is how that incident happened. They kept gathering information from all these adventurers, and they're like, "Yo, like this is adding up to a crazy story. Like this isn't good. Like the Celestial Dragons are really doing some stuff. Like they're monsters." And then the government's like, "Oh, we can't let that get out." Destroys Ohara. Like Robin gets out, so it's still, the information is still going out there, and then she meets up with the main character, and you know, the story happens, obviously. But like, just imagining like these human beings, these celestial dragons, were bolstered by demons, which is why they're so ruthless. They don't care about other human beings. They're the ones that have been given power to rule over humanity, and all the other races were their enemies to begin with. So fuck them. They could be slaves, they could be killed, they could be thrown to the wolves, they could be sold. It doesn't matter. We don't care about those guys. They were our enemies to begin with. And then the human beings that we now govern over, they're less than us now. So they don't care. And then they're backed up and guided by demons. So their values are based off of what demons value. And so they're down to have slaves. They're down to kill humans for no reason. They're down to wring the world dry of its resources in order to sustain themselves. They don't care about any of those things, because the 5 people that govern them are actual demons. And the one person that knows that they're actual demons is an immortal who brought them into the world. So no one's gonna tell these guys like, oh, you should change. Like, no, the person that gave them power is telling them, do what you want. No one can stop you. Everyone around is lesser beings, because we're behind you. We have given you power. Everyone behind you is trash. Don't even worry about what happens to them. We'll take care of any enemy that dares touch you. We'll send our most powerful people after them. You will be unfazed by all the issues of the world, as long as you keep the status quo. And that's why when Homing left with his family, they were like, nah, you can't come back. Once you give it up and you put yourself down on that lower level, we'll never take you back. Because who's to say what you will do after learning what they go through? We're not going to let you change the status quo. We can't let that happen. So celestial dragons are unknowing participants in a reign of demonic terror. Only one person truly knows what they're capable of and what they're doing, and 5 demons are backing that person to keep themselves on the mortal plane and to subjugate humanity and all the others. And that's wild. I know that's a crazy theory, but that's like, as with all the evidence and stuff that I've seen so far, that is really the only thing that is making sense to me now. I could be wrong. Who knows? I've been wrong about some things. I've been right about some things. It's I'm working with the information I'm given, and Oda doesn't like to give out everything, so this is mostly speculation. But I believe that Saint J. Garcia is a demon. The 5 elders are all demons. Im-sama brought them into this world, created a powerful contract with these demons, and in exchange they were given control of the entire world. And they used the armies and the 19 noble families as a means to justify like their power. Like, oh, it wasn't demonic energy, we were just powerful kingdoms. And then afterwards, these demons instilled their values into these noble families, and history wrote itself afterwards. And now we're watching as the god of liberation, Devil Fruit, is placed into a human being that believes in freedom above all else, and is going after these demons after 800 years of staying out of their hands. Like, whew. But that being said, man, One Piece is wild now. I don't know when I'm gonna post again next. At some point I'll post again, but this one I had to post because that was a lot. There was a lot of implications, and a lot of things hit me all at once, and I was like, yo, I have to say something about this. So if you like that video, obviously drop a like. You don't have to, but it would be cool. If you want to know when I'm gonna drop another video, you can subscribe. I got other videos. If you want to watch those, you know, they're on my channel. Yeah, I'm just kind of starstruck about the whole chapter. Like, it kind of threw me off. And Egghead has been like the arc of answers. It's crazy. And we get to see Shanks fight in canon. Man, Lord Nollan Out.